Hey YouTube, David Staples back with another video. Today we're going to talk about the objectives for the CompTIA CASP exam, and that's the CompTIA Advanced Security Practitioner. So let's talk about the CompTIA Advanced Security Practitioner exam. So I know that I've got a lot of questions, usually at the beginning of these classes, asking a little bit about the exam. How many questions is it? How long do I have to take the exam? So I figured I'd go ahead and just create one of these videos to go ahead and answer all your questions, as I'm sure that the people in my classes are probably not the only ones looking for this information. So to start off with, the CompTIA Advanced Security Practitioner, the exam that we're talking about is exam CAS-002. So this is the current version as of at least right now for the CompTIA Advanced Security Practitioner. The previous exam version was CAS-001. It was a significantly different exam, so if you're looking at study materials, you want to make sure that you are specifically focusing on those materials that are related to the CAS-002. So for this exam, we've got a maximum of 90 questions. So out of those 90 questions, some of them may actually be what we call seeded questions. That means that some of the questions will not actually count against you or count towards your score, but essentially they are being tested by CompTIA, just like various other organizations do, to see whether or not it's going to make a valid question that they can actually score you on in the future for other testing candidates. So theoretically, you should have a maximum of 90 questions. Now, I say theoretically because I've actually had an exam in the past where it said that it was a maximum of 80 questions, and I had 83 questions on my exam. So I can only assume that a minimum of 3 questions were actually seeded questions, questions that they were testing to see whether or not they're going to be valid questions that they can ask other people to actually score that question for credit on the exam. So in theory, you should have a maximum of 90 questions on this exam. So what types of questions are you going to see on the exam? So you're actually going to see a variety of different types of questions. You're going to see multiple choice questions. It's going to be the primary type of question that you'll see there. Essentially, it will ask you a question, of course, and then basically give you options A, B, C, and D, maybe A, B, C, D, and E. Some of the questions you might actually have checkboxes where you'll select 2 or select 3 out of 6, 7, or 8 options or so. So there are going to be some where you do have to select multiples. Now, I don't remember seeing any of the select all that apply, so that's at least a plus that works in our favor. They typically do tell you how many questions, or how many answers rather, that you need to select out of the lists that they've given you there. Now, for these 90 questions, or up to 90 questions, you'll have a maximum of 165 minutes to take this exam. So, of course, 120 minutes is 2 hours, so you basically have 2 hours and 45 minutes for this exam. Hopefully it doesn't take you all 2 hours and 45 minutes, but if you need all of that at the time frame, you certainly will have it available to you to take the exam. So the recommended experience coming into this exam, they recommend that you have at least 10 years of experience in IT administration, including at least 5 years of hands-on technical security experience. There's not any sort of a prerequisite that you have the CompTIA Security Plus before coming into it, but on a personal note, from an instructor that teaches both the Security Plus and the CompTIA Advanced Security Practitioner, I would say that it's definitely a good idea to at least have gone through the CompTIA Security Plus exam first. See what kind of things are new to you there before you try what's called a mastery level exam with CompTIA, because this is the only mastery level exam that they currently offer, and it does cover a lot of the same concepts. There's a lot of the concepts with social engineering, with things like risk management, risk avoidance, risk transference, that type of thing, that are going to be the same material from your Security Plus. But of course, there's a lot of new topics that we'll talk about as well in the CompTIA Advanced Security Practitioner, which of course is why there is a separate exam for it, that is not just another part of the Security Plus exam. Now, passing score for this exam, they actually have it listed as no scaled score. It is a pass-fail only. I can't even tell you what I scored on the exam because I don't know. All I know is that when I finished the exam, it said that I passed. So this is definitely going to be a difficult exam. We don't know what you need to score on it, so we can only make the assumption that you basically need to do as best as you possibly can on this exam. Get as many questions right as you possibly can. I know that having talked to some CompTIA executives in the past about some of the other exams, they mentioned things, at least for those other exams, that the questions typically were going to be weighted. So we can make the assumption that that's probably going to be the case here as well. Perhaps some of the harder questions might be worth more points. It could be that the simulations that you see are worth more points. So when I mentioned actually the multiple choice and performance-based, that's what I'm talking about when I'm talking about performance-based questions. Is there are some what we call simulations where you don't necessarily have a Windows server or a Linux server or a firewall specifically like a Cisco PIX or the ASA or something like that that you have to go in and configure. But they do perhaps have some simulations where it's going to ask you to demonstrate knowledge of general firewall concepts or general network design concepts, or maybe some drag and drops where you'll have some different little things and you'll drag them into certain boxes to answer that particular type of simulation. So obviously I can't go into too much detail as far as the exact types of things that you're going to see there, but you will definitely have some performance-based questions on there that are going to ask you to demonstrate through dragging and dropping or through maybe configuring a generic firewall or something like that to show that you actually do understand the underlying concepts here. So with the exam, there are basically 5 domains that make up this exam. So domain 1.0 is enterprise security, and that makes up 30% of the exam. Domain 2.0 is risk management and incident response, and that makes up 20% of the exam. Domain 3.0 is research and analysis, which is 18%. You've got domain 4.0, which is integration of computing, communications, and business disciplines, which is going to be 16%. And then the last domain is 5.0, which is technical integration of enterprise components. So there's basically 5 domains that make up the exam, with basically half of it being the first 2 domains, the enterprise security and risk management and incident response. So you definitely want to make sure that you are as familiar with as many of the different concepts in here as possible. So current pricing for the exam, as of today, which this is beginning of February in 2017, looks like current pricing is $426 per test. So definitely not something that you want to go into unprepared. I know a lot of people who have actually failed their exam the first time or even the second time. But I've had students in the class that also pass the very first time they take this exam. Don't think that just because you heard some rumors that the CAS-001, the previous version of this test, was really easy, that means that this one's going to be easy too, because that's not going to be the case. I know that I've heard, of course this is rumor, it's speculation, but I know that I'd heard a lot of people say that apparently CompTIA had taken a lot of flack for the CASP, which is supposed to be a mastery level exam, being way too easy compared to something like CISP that they were competing against. So they came back and said, if people are saying that this exam isn't hard enough, then we'll make it harder, and they certainly have. So we certainly have some pretty decent pass rates where I teach. So if you need to go take a class to make sure that you pass this exam, I can certainly recommend that. Of course, I am an instructor here for the CompTIA Advanced Security Practitioner, and like I said, I've had plenty of people that actually pass on their first try, but I've also had a few people that without actually putting in any sort of study time, or they were busy in the evenings, just couldn't dedicate the time to it, they haven't done so well on the exam. So you definitely do want to put in the study time to actually learn this material. Make sure that you are actually going to only have to take it once. At $426 per exam, you really don't want to have to take this thing 3 and 4 times. It can definitely get pretty expensive. So I don't know about you, but there's plenty of other things I'd rather spend $426 on. So that is the CompTIA Advanced Security Practitioner exam. If you're looking for the objectives, they are available on the CompTIA website. I know a lot of the different coursewares out there as well also have the objectives in the back of the book, or possibly in the beginning of the book. The courseware that we use specifically does have the objectives in the back of the book. So I would certainly go through and read those if you're not taking an exam. Go through and take some practice tests somewhere. This is definitely going to be probably not the easiest exam that you've ever taken. So for those who are going to take the exam, I certainly wish you the best of luck and hope you do well. I hope you come out with a pass on the end of your screen like I saw on mine. And for those who are looking for training, definitely feel free to contact me. I'd love to have you in one of my future classes. I do actually travel around the U.S., so no matter where you're at, I can come to you. You can come to us here in Atlanta. we'd be happy to have you in one of our classes and talk to you about the CompTIA Advanced Security Practitioner, both the exam, the material that you need to know, and everything like that. So, you guys take care. Thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. Love you guys. Be sure to click on that subscribe button as well, and click on the like or the thumbs up, and leave a comment down below if you found anything here useful or if you've got any questions about the general format of the exam. So, love to see you in a future video. So again, click on that subscribe button for me. It certainly helps me out, and look forward to seeing you in a future video. You guys take care.